Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to the team call for February 9th. Today we're going to have an informal call where I'm going to be asking questions to some of the diamonds who are on the team. We're still waiting for a few of them to hop on, but I didn't want to waste time because I know everybody's time is precious. And I wanted to get started, but like I said a few minutes ago, I wanted to congratulate Kim for becoming an Emerald coach today. That's amazing. That's the first step in everybody's business. And I remember when I became an Emerald coach, and I don't know if many of you who aren't Emeralds are thinking, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like 2 coaches like underneath me, that's like a really big deal. And I kind of let it get in my mind for a really long time. And I felt the same way about Diamond too. But really, it's just 2 people. You don't have to know everything to be an Emerald coach. You don't have to know everything to be a Diamond coach. You have to have the heart to want to help people. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to ask Megan. I'm going to put her on the hot seat first. The first question that I wanted to ask was, Megan, when you first started this business, what was your biggest fear, and how did you overcome it? And I think you're a good example of that because you signed up as a coach without being a customer.
My biggest fear?
Yeah. Did you have any fears when you first started?
Did. Yeah, a lot. I think my biggest one was I'd not done the workouts. I'd never eaten any eating plan before. So just like the fear of failing physically was one, but then on the business side too, like that whole rejection component of the business, asking people worse. Sometimes people are not very kind.
Oh, isn't that so true?
But I think that fatty rejection today, and pretty much just like.
So if you have rejection today, like what goes through your mind?
Sure, it's hard when somebody says something kind. So today when it hit, I back up and like keep moving on, and I didn't my phone away, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take some time and pull myself together and not let it get to me.
Well, yeah, that's the kind of thing I always have to say. You have to take a
minute for the rest of the day, and then you do, because
is she breaking
really
up? Hold on a minute, Megan.
But then I'm making.
Is she breaking up for anybody else, or is it just me? Huh, okay, go ahead.
I hear you. Oh.
Did you have anything else to add?
My screaming children. But then at dinner time tonight, I just had someone straight up message me and say, "Here, I'm ready." So,
see,
gotta take the rejection with a grain of salt.
You do have to take it with a grain of salt. Okay, I wanted to welcome Jacinia. Some of you may or may not know Jacinia. Jacinia and I have the same coach. So we're kind of peers, and I've kind of adopted her into my coaching family, and I asked her to be a guest here because she has so much information and knowledge to share. And like I said, there were a few other diamonds who couldn't make the call tonight. And so I figured, the better perspective, the best. So Jacinia, I'll just ask you quickly the same question I just asked Megan. When you first started your this business, what was your biggest fear, and how have you overcome it? Business.
Oh gosh. My big literally, I told Amy, our coach, I told her, I said, I don't have any friends, and I don't know, I'm really not sure I'm going to know anyone who wants to do this with me. And that was before I had any idea. So social media, kind of getting in there and being taught like how to really, connect with people, that's what helped me overcome it. But honestly, I wouldn't have a business if it wasn't for social media. And I know people think that's funny. They're like, really? And so I really felt like I didn't know a whole lot of people. And how to actually use it to connect with people.
That's awesome. Okay, thank you. Okay, this next question, I'm going to answer myself, and then I'll have the other two answered as well. What I really want to show you through this as we ask and answer these questions is that I want you to see that we're regular people. Like I said before, everybody wants to get to diamond and beyond. You don't want to get to diamond and stop. But somebody who's made it to diamond has, worked really hard to help people, help other people, help their coaches, help people. So it's just a good benchmark for success. I say that lightly because you can have success even if you're not a diamond. But what I want you to see is that we've all struggled with things and we've overcome things, and that we're just regular, normal people. So my next question is, what vital behavior is the hardest for you to do every single day, and why? So I'm going to answer that for me. So vital behaviors: invite, or connect, like I like to say, personal development, and being a product of the products. And I feel like there's times where each of them are hard for me, and it should come naturally, especially because I've been coaching actively for 2.5 years. There's some times where being a product of the product comes super, super naturally to me. And then there's other times where I cannot keep Cheetos out of my face and I eat them all day. I mean, not really, but I want to eat them all day. So that can be hard. But I think for me, still even into this business 2.5 years later, it's still hard for me to invite, because I was just talking to this with Jacinia briefly earlier today, is you really have to check your ego at the door as you continue to invite people. And I wish I could say, hey, in 6 months from now, you're going to do it as it'll feel easy and natural, and it won't ever, make your heart kind of flutter as you send those invitations out. Because for me, it still hasn't got there. But I think I have the confidence now to just do it anyways, where before I used to let that fear stop me. So for me, inviting is still something that's hard. I feel like that's the vital behavior I want to do the least, because it's the vital behavior where you have to process through rejection and you really put yourself out there. So it makes it really, really difficult. Maybe I'm on my team call, okay? So Megan, what vital behavior is the hardest for you to do, and why?
Oh, it's inviting. I hate it.
So how have you found ways to overcome it?
Anyways, but I don't like it. I'm not inviting. I'm trying really hard to connect and build that conversation towards inviting. But some days are really hard.
It's true. And like I've said, I've shared this on several team calls before. I like to think that, I think I said it in one of our last ones, that I'm in a room full of 100 people and 3 of those people need my help, like their life depends on it. And if I don't talk to all 100 people to find those 3 people, I'm doing those 3 people a disservice. But getting through all those 97 who aren't the right people can be hard sometimes. But imagine if I let that fear stop me, those 3 people who need my help are never going to get my help. So, Natalie, welcome. I wanted to ask you the same thing. So what vital behavior is the hardest for you, and why?
I obviously I struggle with inviting too. I think what has helped me is the Go Giver book, and one thing I have talked about in our team prep team recently was I totally am, because what I'm trying to sell them is going to absolutely change their life. So heck yeah, they're like, you're trying to sell me on something. I'm like, yeah, I am. Like, this is important. What I have to offer it's a big deal. And so I try for sure, and that's why personal development helps me. And then recognition. I honestly,
I totally forgot about that one.
because I'm not. So I'd say I really struggle with that, and knowing, like, I just haven't figured out how to fit that into my business. But I know it's important, because even if I do it on Facebook, recognize camaraderie of the business and like what not only the business but the products, like if you shout people out, and it's just for me yet. So
Justinia, do you have anything to add to that, or do you want me to move to the next question? Maybe because she hammered.
You can go to the next.
Girlfriend,
I think
so
we're all
fancy. It's like 10 o'clock at night there, and you look all fancy. I give you mad props for being so put together. Okay, so you're good? Okay, so next question is, what is your favorite personal development book and why? And I want to answer this first because I remember when I first started my business and I was really jumping in and really working on the belief. For me, I read The Slight Edge and it really clicked with me and it really painted that picture of consistency. The Slight Edge is very similar to The Compound Effect, but I liked the writing style a little bit better because I had already read The Compound Effect before that, but it really just showed that those simple daily actions repeated over time can lead to success. And I don't think there's any other better example when it comes to this business than that. Simple daily actions that are just as easy to do as not to do, that can either give you the edge, like they use this curve where it either goes up or it goes down, whether you do them or you don't, where you might not notice. Just like with your fitness, you might not notice in a week or two if you skip your workouts that it's making a difference in your appearance, but over that time, 6 months from now, you're going to look completely different because you've completely let yourself go with your health. But the same thing can happen if you show up every single day and you make those small changes. It can really change your life. And so for me, that book really spoke to me when I first got started. Megan, do you have a book that's really spoke to you?
Okay. So my business is that Redonkadonk Rhinoceros success book.
Well, are you kidding
every time
me?
I read it, like it's, I don't know why, but every time I read a page in that book, I'm like, girl, just go now.
Just freaking charge. Like
Stop
a
whining. Pick up, see the next time you do it, and that book does it.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous book. It's a ridiculous book, but it's a fast one.
Yeah, okay. So I hear my connection is not very good. I know on me, everybody's cutting out for me. So I'm sorry. I'll try not to answer as many questions and let everybody else answer. Justinia, do you have a personal development book that's your favorite that's really spoken to you?
Oh gosh. I mean, you go through these different phases as you're growing in your coaching business. And the very first book I enjoyed it. I love Darren Hardy. I love his style of writing. But as far as sometimes I think you need like just that confidence builder, right? Like knowing who you are. And so I loved You Are a Badass because I really struggled with confidence, self-confidence, believing just in myself. But then, now I'm at a different place in my business. And the current book I'm reading is called Get Over Your Damn Self by Roni. And that's an analytical book. It's very strategy based. I am at this read because she's very, very strategy based. And I like that. So those are kind of like, I guess, my top 3, just depending maybe where you are in your.
Yes, I just ordered the book she recommended today because I needed a new book called Get Over Your Damn Self. Natalie, what about you? I think I know what you're going to answer, but what's your favorite?
The Compound Effect too. I hope everybody's read it because I just go emerald because it makes so much sense. But then as of late, my 2 favorite And if you haven't read that, that's like changed my heart basically. And I needed that one for sure. Next rule, like that fires me up. I'm reading it again. Like I just finished it for a group I'm in, and I'm just reading it again. I listened to like 15 minutes. So they all kind of have like a different effect on me, I guess. So yeah, kind of like just you were saying, kind of whatever, wherever you are in your, those work for me.
Okay, next question. Hopefully you can hear me. What is one tip you'd share with a newer coach? That's something that you've learned over time that's really helped your business. Megan?
Can you say it one more time?
I'm sorry. What is one? No, I'll type it out. How about that?
Oh, one tip I'd share with a new coach that's helped me. Sure. Oh man. I don't know. That's a hard one. I think just in everything that you do, be consistent. So be consistent posting on social media, people. Be consistent inviting, because the consistency is what will end up building your business. If you're inconsistent, your business.
Justinia?
Don't be afraid to look yourself in the mirror, practice having a conversation. That conversation started because that's the most awkward part. As you can see, all of us coaches is confidence, looking at yourself in the mirror. My husband makes fun of me, but I always talk to myself. But a part of that is really being comfortable with, well, what does that conversation look like, and how do you practice your confidence so that you feel good when you message people and start those, so that you feel good when you message people and start those relationships.
Natalie?
Okay. I think for me, it's it kind of goes along with what Justinia is saying, but that was a huge struggle for me to find the best way for me to invite and me to connect and me to I can add value. And I think that's really, really important, to be authentic and to actually reach people the way that you can help people and help the type of people that will be attracted to you. And so, and that will feed your confidence. If you feel like you actually have something to offer and can help other people. And that comes through a little bit of down like what you're good at or what you enjoy. So it takes some time and effort, but I think it really will make a huge difference in your business.
I put my answer in the chat box. Okay, I'm going to type the next question. Sorry.
You want me on the video? They won't have chat.
Yeah, can you say what my answer was?
Okay. Yeah, Ashley's tip is believe in yourself, believe in the business, and don't let a seed of doubt creep in. Doubt will hold you back stations and posts.
Seriously, for me, doubt and fear held me back for 20 months. Next question. my next question, hopefully you can hear me okay. It's something I think everybody struggles with if they're honest with themselves. How do you handle jealousy / comparison of other coaches? Like, has there been a time where you've struggled with it, and how did you overcome it? So whoever wants to jump in, Natalie, Megan, Justinia.
I haven't really struggled with jealousy, but maybe the comparison side of like, I'm that rabbit trail of like, I'm not good enough is more where my mind typically goes. And I remember, and I don't look at anything you do anymore on Facebook. And so every single coach except for the ones that I felt were like me, because I didn't want to be like somebody else. I wanted to be like me. So people that kept kind of giving me ideas for later on, but I don't look at anybody else. Because I can never be her.
I will yeah, I'm like Megan. I don't really feel like jealousy can creep in, but it's just that comparison game, especially when in time as someone else. And they seem to just be full steam ahead, and it looks easy to someone else's, whether it's your fitness journey, your health journey, or your business. And follow a whole lot of coaches through our upline. Some of you guys I'm connected to. I'm honest and very, very select on who I add in my coaching network. And the reason why is because you go into that mental place of judging yourself and comparing, well, my post didn't look like that, or, oh, should I be doing that banner thing she's doing? And, oh, well, what app does she have? How did she make those words? I mean, all those things really you start to feel like your journey where you are, is it good enough? And the one thing that I've noticed is from the day I started to my journey has unraveled in so many different ways. And so if you don't allow people to go on that unraveling of a you, and one day you're just sitting on Facebook who post her kids, and the next day all of a sudden you have these professional graphics for it to be authentic to who you are in the journey where you are, even if you're people, because it is about the relationship that you build behind those posts. But I just don't follow. And when I'm in the mood for some inspiration, I will go and put in a few key names of people that I feel I connect with, their story. I'll look at their stuff and then I leave. So comparison, I think, is very normal in this business. And if we're all honest with ourselves, I think we all just have to say, I just have to not look at it, because that's the only way for me to overcome it sometimes.
Natalie, do you have anything to add?
Oh, I think it's tricky because, sure. I think it's tricky because sometimes we hear, so you kind of feel like you should be watching what other people are doing too. And you have to be authentic. They're kind of competing ideas. So I think it's all the same. I don't follow anybody either. Like, I follow Megan because she's my success partner, and I follow Kelly because she's my upline coach. And that's basically it. Like, I'm friends with people, but I don't follow them. And one, because it takes time. It takes time away from me connecting. So I'm not going to go through and look at coaches' stuff because my customers are potential customers. And so I won't be offended if none of you coaches ever comment on my stuff, because that means you're building relationships with people that you can help. So, and Megan is awesome. But so that's one thing I do. It's same as everybody else. It sounds like that's your clue. Success leaves clues, and that's maybe one of the clues is to not follow other coaches similar to them. And then I've done the same thing as Justinia. Like the other day, I glanced at some of the top coaches and just to get an idea of the question, you know, should kids get participation trophies or should they just only get question? So I posted that, like almost exactly what she had posted, and I got tons of feedback, you know, and stuff. So I think, but you would never copy exactly what somebody else is doing ever because they're not you. And so I think because you are your own person, and like I was before, it comes from a lot of self-awareness and personal development to figure out who you are and X, Y, and Z person. And I can read what Ashley put. Ashley says, if you're connecting with coaches more than you're connecting with other people, you're spending time in the right spot. Wrong spot. Then so. Okay. So deep truth, I'm the one that is always saying, who did they make that graphic? How are they so good? So yeah, my graphic, like that is not my forte. So I find them online. That's what I do. So don't reinvent the wheel. Okay, next question.
Did you get the next question?
Megan, are you up? No. Yeah,
Sorry,
but Megan's not ready.
babies. What is one thing if you only have one thing to do to move your business forward? Oh, it's working out. If there's only product of the product, then it's all waste.
Oh. Anybody else?
Okay, I'll read Ashley's and then I'll tell you mine. So Ashley says mine is posting and sharing on social media always. Okay, so I kind of have like, you know what I would say that the one thing I would do every answer is I invite, but I totally don't. And and I don't work out every day. I would love to say that I do. I am, to be honest, and I am, and I don't. So I would have to agree with Ashley, and it's something I didn't realize that I do. Like, if I was to wake up throwing up, you know, everyone that's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I'm with Ashley. I share on social media. It's like automatic now. Every single day I post on social media, and I try and Facebook that I work my business from. And no matter what, I always post. If I'm going to look at my truth, that's my real truth.
Ashley said too, what else was the last thing you said? Oh, is your life journal. People are used to seeing you. So I think for me, I actually don't post on social media on Sunday. There's a coach that I related to that she said she doesn't post on Sunday. And so that's my day of rest. I don't work out on Sunday. It's kind of my family day, my day of rest. So I actually don't post on social media every day. I do, but I'd say what I do for my business every day, including on Sunday, is somehow I will check in with my group or get back to people, messaging people or my coaches or whatever. Like they're somebody every day, whether it's just in my challenge group, whether it's in my free group, whether, you know, whatever that is, it's connecting every day. And then Ashley asks, does anyone have any questions for any of us before we wrap up?
No one? Okay, well, I can wrap this up. I had more questions, but I know my connection is bad, and unless anybody else has anything they want to ask, I will let everybody go because we've already been on the call for half an hour. But I appreciate you guys showing up, and I'll try and work on connections. But mostly, if you can still hear me, just remember we're regular people, and we still struggle with all the things you're probably thinking we don't struggle with, but we do. So it's okay. We're normal. That means you're normal too. But I love you guys. Thank you for showing up, and I appreciate you.